Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Merkon's Musings, a Star Wars action figure review. And today we're looking at, you guessed it, the AT-ST driver, or otherwise known as All-Terrain Scout Transport driver. So yes, I've done a video on the AT-ST by itself. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. But today we're looking at the driver or pilot of this vehicle. So before we get into the review of this action figure, I'm going to give you a quick history of the character. So the AT-ST driver, also called the AT-ST pilot, were Imperial combat drivers specialized in operating the all-terrain scout transport. AT-ST pilots were trained to be primarily responsible for keeping the AT-ST Walker moving at speed through uneven terrain, utilizing its offensive capabilities for reconnaissance and anti-personnel hunting missions. AT-ST pilots wore a one-piece light gray jumpsuit with basic armor underneath, with Imperial crests on both shoulders, black gauntlets and boots, and a belt with a metallic buckle. AT-ST pilots also wore a field gray open-face helmet and a pair of blast goggles that protected their eyes. Although they were not expected to replace standard ground-based infantry, the AT-ST driver carried blasters, grenades, thermal detonators, emergency flares, and a comlink in case of emergencies. So that is the history of this character. And as you can see, there are two versions, but there's going to be a third version that I'm going to review, and I actually have the figure. We're looking at actually only carded versions of this character. So as always, we start off with the Kenner version. This came out in 1984, and this is actually a really cool character or sculpt for this character. If you look up real close, you can see all the beautiful details. They have the bunching of the jumpsuit. It's got the black gauntlets and boots and the belt. It's got the Imperial insignias on both shoulder patches. It's got the open-faced helmet. The goggles are down. But yeah, it's a great looking figure, especially for this time period. And it came with this Princess Leia in combat poncho blaster. That's the one thing I hated about this figure, because these little blasters got lost real easy. This is really a great version of this character, the AT-ST driver or pilot. It has 5 points of articulation. It's got the head, the legs, and the arms that move up and down. So it's standard Kenner articulation. So with that said, this is the first one. It's a great start. Let's take a look at the second one. So the second one is from the Power of the Force 2. And as you can see, this one has a hologram. They also came with one that had a plain photo there, as well as a freeze frame version of the carded figure. And I'm going to open this up so you can see this one. And this is the one thing I hated about these Power of the Force 2 characters. They always gave them these ridiculously giant guns. As you can see, this is supposed to be an E11 Stormtrooper blaster, but for some reason it's cut off. It looks terrible. And they also gave him this ridiculous giant gun. I don't even know what to call this, but it's a giant rifle, which really doesn't make sense inside that small scout walker. So yeah, this is one of the pet peeves I had of these Power of the Force 2. They gave them these weird guns, and this one's kind of hard to get in. All right, well, we don't need it because you have this. So yeah, this one has 6 points of articulation, much like the original Kenner. It has the arms that move, and the head turns, but also has the waist twist, and it's got the 2 legs. This is not a bad version. I always hated the fact that these things looked bulkier than they should be. He's got the insignias on the shoulder pads. He's got the goggles down. He's got the open-faced helmet. It's not bad. I think the Kenner one is better, personally. I find that one much better. So yeah, this is the Power of the Force 2. Action figure came out in 1995. It's not a bad figure, but once again, I feel it's just too bulky, too big. Yeah, let's stand it next to the one that's here, and you can see the difference. So that's that one. And then in 2021, they came out with this version, which is the 50th anniversary Lucasfilm. And this action figure was a re-release of the 2012 mold with an updated photo, real face-painted application, and the Lucasfilm 50th anniversary on the top of the card. And on the back of the card, it had the 50th anniversary logo there, and they released Princess Leia Endor poncho, and then you have Paplu, and you have obviously the AT-ST driver. So this card is kind of cool. I like it better than the original one. I just wish it didn't have this logo there. It's definitely a really nice figure. Figure's really good. Let's take a look at this. This is him. He comes with the E11 blaster that looks to be in scale and correct. The articulation is phenomenal. But here, this is the photo real face. Let me see if I can get it close for you. Yeah, it's really nice. They did a nice job. The paint job is really good on it. There we go. It's really nice. And once again, it's got a really good sculpt. You see all these, in their jumpsuits, got all these, bunching up of fabric. And I like the fact that the helmet's removable, and it has the goggles down. I wish they would have had like an extra helmet which had them up, which would be kind of neat. It's got great articulation. Its head's on a ball joint. It's got a mid, as you can see there, it's got like a mid-chest articulation, which is restricted by these straps. It's got the waist articulation. I love how they did this. The insert joints look like they're part of the bunching up of the knees. So when you move them, it looks kind of cool. It looks like it's all one piece. And then you have the ankles joints, and the same on this one. You have the leg or the knee joint right there. It was kind of disguised by this. I like how they did it. You can't really tell when it's down where they are. And the same thing with the arms. They have insert joints. On here, they did a similar thing where you can move them up, right? And the gloves, you can rotate the gloves. It's nice, really nice. Yeah, it's definitely a definitive version of this character. My only complaint would be to give him a different helmet. It's like a second helmet with the goggles on top, which would be kind of cool. So there you have it. That's the AT-ST driver. I hope you really enjoyed this video. And if you did, please hit like and subscribe. And stay tuned. I'll have a new episode for you real soon. Thank you.